Hello everyone, welcome back to more TEW2020 AEW. We are here, second week of February, on our road to Revolution and the start of Season 2. We start off with our show of Dark as Jake Hager defeats Chris Brooks. Hikaru Shida defeats Abaddon. And then we see the Wu-Ten Clan around backstage, just having finished record their vlog. I imagine that this is just something that will be off-screen, implied to happen. And as the cameras for Dark come close, Gardner says, oh, perfect timing. See, we're glad that Dark's cameras are out here. We have something that we want to show the Gunn Club. You guys are backed by Billy Gunn. He's a legend, I guess. I mean, he had a few years where he wasn't terrible. But you know what we have? We not only have the perfect 10, but we also have both of the most notorious wooers in the world. That's right, Matt Cardona's got an official endorsement from Ric Flair. Like, he points to Ric Flair, shows the camera, Ric Flair's just kind of chilling out there, and he's just like, why are you guys recording me right now? Completely confused. Cardona, Spears, Bates, they all leave before Rick can get a chance to understand what the hell is going on. It's just a segment, especially with the dark side of the, with the dark side of the ring stuff. It's heel heat for Cardona and Spears, even if Ric Flair is a weirdo. Kind of an asshole. But, oh well. Cardona, Spears, Bates, just getting more heat on themselves. Darby Allin defeats Brian Cage. Priscilla Kelly defeats Patricia Faber. Bandito then defeats 5 of the Dark Order. And then it doesn't take long after the match for Maria de Pasqua's music to hit, and the former manager of Bandito to walk out onto the stage. She berates Bandito for leaving the Revoluchas, saying that he didn't need to turn his back on them. Shulgaro says that he wasn't really doing anything with them, and that angers de Pasqua, who says that she will come back and make sure that Bandito and the LWO won't forget that betrayal, that de Pasqua is more than ready to put up a fight to show that she is serious. Of course, Bandito, he used to have a tag team with Dragon Lee that was managed by Maria de Pasqua, the Regen. They were the Revoluchas. Horrible name. I know. Whatever. Forget about it. Don't worry about it. All that sort of stuff. Now de Pasqua, Bandito did just turn his back on her, completely rejected her guidance. So now de Pasqua looking for a way to come back. And for once, I actually have the plan set beforehand for who I'm gonna have as this mystery team that she'll be. Oh, I already spoiled it, it's a team. Whatever. Andrew Everett defeats Brian Pillman Jr. The Dark Order defeats Willpower. Diamante defeats Bianca Crelli. I said this fight, just have whoever go over. Then we see the Future training with each other, working very well in sync when they're approached, again, by Frederick Hurst. He says, look guys, I made some bad investments in the past. You guys don't even want to know about the last time I tried to pitch something. I pitched a rebrand for Elevation and nearly got fired on the spot. But, you know what? Heyman kept me around. And you know why? Because he saw what sort of asset I was. He saw that I had that fire, that desire to try to come up with something new. And you know what? I can do that exact same thing with you guys. Let's face it right now. No one knows who the hell any of us are right now. But we can change that in a flash. Let's just work together. Come on, guys. What do you say? And the Future once again declined his offer. Yeah. It's a very small scale storyline, but one that gets me some storylines with other people. Utami breaks her fingers as she beats Serena Deeb. Freddie Ahi defeats Colt Cabana. Also, we have Al Snow as a road agent now. And then to finish things off, Moxley defeats Dijak. That road agent gets gimmicks things. That was just, I had a bunch of road agents. I just didn't want them to show up in the has no gimmicks thing. Makes it easier to sort who I still have yet to debut. But yeah, that'll finish off our show of Dark as we move on to Dynamite. We begin our show of Dynamite with the Dustin Rhodes Open Challenge, TM. It's not actually an open challenge. Penta challenged him beforehand, but he loses. Dustin defeats Penta with the lifting reverse DDT. Even though Penta way outscores him, but don't worry about it. After this, we see Team Taz all cutting a group promo, with Taz leading the promo. And Taz says, I'll be honest, things could be looking better for me. We've lost the FTW title, and we've got one of the best wrestlers in the world, challenging Jeff Cobb for the IWGP United States title. But you know what? I ain't scared. Those titles, they're secondary. Cody refuses to respect the FTW's legitimacy, and the IWGP ain't even ours. But you know what is ours? The tag titles that the Briscoes are gonna take at Revolution from Proud and Powerful. And then after that, Samoa Joe takes the mic and says, and we have more scores to settle. Scores that have been stagnant for far too long. Scott Steiner, we've had our feuds in the past, and it's time that we show that I was always the better worker, better at everything, while you were just a fat ass. Am I doing this to pop myself? Yes. Yes. Samoa Joe versus versus Scott Steiner and his stable. I mean, you gotta. And we might even have a three-way at Sacrifice. After this, Garza Jr., we see making his way to the commentary desk to talk about the match between Betts and ZSJ versus Sammy Guevara and Jericho, which was announced on Twitter a few days prior. Again, just imagine that was actually the case. As the entrances are going on, Garza laments how his month of the Rose was supposed to be about him, but it keeps being overshadowed by losers like Vikingo and Flair, stealing his rightly earned main events. So that Vikingo has a grudge against the TNT title because of his loss, and that Garza will make sure to smack Vikingo for the slight. He says that if he loses this match later, the match that he has after this one against Jacob Fatu, he'll blame it entirely on Vikingo for messing with his headspace. And in that match, Jericho and Sammy actually defeat the members of Team Angle. Very good match. Yeah, Garza was weak, but whatever. Before Jericho can gloat, Garza comes up so that he can gloat. He makes fun of Charles Betts, his next match in the month of the Rose, so next week will be the TNT title between Garza and Betts. And he taunts him for losing to the Inner Circle, because of course Garza beat Ace Austin last week. This causes the aforementioned Austin to rush out. He's quickly stopped in his tracks by Kip Sabian rushing up behind him. Garza just shoos everyone else out of his, out of his ring before he gets in there. So, gets Team Angle out, gets the Inner Circle out, and he's ready for his match coming up next. Penelope Ford and Viperous are there. They're not mic'd, but you can still hear them off mic saying like, "Hey, you just did commentary. Do you want to really do this match now?" He's like, it'll be fine. I'll be able to easily outmatch someone that's an ugly werewolf like Jacob Fatu. And then, just because I don't like having, match, or like too long where it seems like it's broken up. Commercial break, Garza's cutting an off-screen promo. Doesn't really matter what it's about. Just that's during the commercial break while they get everyone else moved out. All that stuff. And Garza, of course, defeats Fatu. Because it's his month, after all. Now, this Renee Paquette is having a sit-down interview with CM Punk, asking him about the show from last week. He says, everyone know that MJF's MMA fight was paid off. You know what? Yeah, I'll admit it. So what? I went 0-2 in the UFC. So what? I did what I wanted to, and I put my heart into it. But you know what that difference is? Last week, after your match, you said that I'm an entertainer. And sure, maybe you would think that. I mean, all the time that you would have known me, I was in an entertainment company, not a sports company. But even being in the UFC, even stepping into the octagon, proved something that you will never be able to do. I put my body out there in the octagon, while you struggle to put your body on the line in the squared circle. You know what? Honestly, I'm looking forward to my return to the ring at Revolution. I've been training harder than anything that I've ever trained for, because I want this one. Hell, it's not even just because it would be cathartic to win in my first match back in years. But I just want you to lose, MJF. So yeah, it's whatever. After this, we just have a quick vignette showing how dominant Nyla Rose has been. She defeats Riho. It's a real quick match. And, afterwards, Nyla calls up for whoever would be next, especially if that would be Mayu, but a new debut music plays, and the Warwolf, Queen Lupa, arrives on the scene. Lupa gets face-to-face with Nyla, and Nyla just pushes her aside, not impressed by the new arrival. Ember Moon is being brought in as Queen Lupa. She'll be a very solid hand in the division. In the women's division, of course. WWE didn't want to re-sign her, so I just grabbed her for a handshake deal. She'll be around. She's not going to be anything major. I don't plan for her to ever win a title, but she'll be here. She'll be a good hand. She'll be almost like, I'm sort of expecting her to be like a gatekeeper. She'll be the... after you've beat Lupa, you're really in the main event. Before that, you're still in that, at least in the mid-card. But before going up, before a program against Lupa, before winning against Lupa, you're kind of just in this... You're not fully established yet. I don't really care about her popularity. If she puts up some good in-ring ratings, I'll be fine, but I'm not expecting anything major out of Ember Moon. Out of this, Paul Heyman is in his office, Brock Lesnar behind him, and he says, "It really is a shame that Matt Sydal got so beaten up last week. If he had just lost earlier in the match, he would be able to participate in a 3-on-3 match next week, but, look, I don't get along with you much, Brody Lee. You're attacking my clients. Your Dark Order is trying to take over my company. The Vision is defying my rules, so you know what? If both of you hate AEW, if both of you hate me so much, why not combine your forces? Please don't congratulate me too much. Next week, you two, Lance Archer, Brody Lee, you're going to take on Brock Lesnar and someone that you so rudely tried to take out. Brody, Jungle Boy will team with Brock Lesnar next week." A few weeks back, actually I believe at the beginning of the year, Brody Lee was pissed off that he didn't have any, he hadn't been on TV in a long time, so he decided to take matters into his own hands and beat the crap out of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Now Jungle Boy is returning, and this will be a really weird match. Jungle Boy and Brock Lesnar versus Lance Archer and Brody Lee. Right now, my plan is a 3-way Brody, Lance, Brock. But I may change that to a 3-on-3. Haven't decided yet. Kota Ibushi gets his in-ring return, defeating Tony Deppen. And after the match, the Bullet Club make their way to the ring, the Young Bucks soon enough coming to the side of Kota Ibushi. AJ doesn't say anything. He just smiles and looks over to the Tron as it plays highlights of that match between him and Ibushi for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, including, and almost focusing on, that Phoenix Splash that Kota did that AJ countered into a Styles Clash. They look like they're about to get into a fight until the club, they're back up, they're like, alright, fine. And then the other half of the Bullet Club rush in, they beat down the de facto faces, because technically the Young Bucks are heels. But they just beat down all of the Elite and feel successful about it. After this, we catch back up with Kana and Ham's Katana at the sushi restaurant. Kana's too exhausted to just run away from Ham, so she's just like, well, whatever. Over the course of the scene, we see that Kana slowly but surely is getting more tolerant of Hams. Not exactly liking it, but she's more tolerant of Hams and Morgan being weirdos. And all of them, to Kana's surprise, have a pretty fun time, and eventually Hams and Morgan leave. Kana pays for the copious amounts of food that Hams buys. We're almost ridiculous. She is the damsel of Devour for a reason. But before the scene ends, we see that Hams has forgotten her stuffed pig Goku, and kind of figures that, well, she won't want to lose this, so picks up Goku, stuffs it into her jacket pocket, and she leaves. You can see like Goku's head sticking out of the jacket pocket, so it's a goofy scene. A lot of things with Hams are going to be goofy. In our main event, damn, I was hoping it'll be a little bit better, but Had Vikingo take a stunt bump. I'm imagining what this is like, it's not a no DQ match, but imagine, like, probably someone in Brutality Inc. takes out the ref, whoever the ref would be, who is our ref, Jerry Lane. So, Jerry Lane is definitely someone who would take a bump. So someone takes out Jerry Lynn, and then Vikingo is, like, chucked from the top rope through a table or something like that. I don't know. I mainly wanted to have a stunt bump so I could try to get a better rating, but unfortunately, a lack of psychology dooms me again. But an 82 rating is still very nice to end off our show. One of our better matches of all time. 81, one of our better shows of all time. So, we're still continuing the road over to Revolution, as we see what Season 2 will be all about.